Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fam. Good morning. Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fam.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Today is Wednesday, August 23rd, 2023. And I'm kind of inclined to pat myself on the back because I've been about 2 weeks in getting the day right, the date, and actually the year. But it is 2023. It is We Need to Know Wednesday, and it is a special We Need to Know Wednesday. I've mentioned over the past couple of months, transition, upgrading, doing things. And for those of you that follow me on social media, you've seen the impact of my decision to join myself. I'll go ahead and say submit myself to and work with the Davis system. I have observed them for the last couple of years being active in community, being active in the electoral process, being active in things, Caribbean culture, been active in equity in different spaces. And I really saw the impact and the organization and the excellence and the attention to detail, logistics, doing all type of different events. Most recently, they oversaw the college fair for the national NAACP convention. And they're not just local. They're regional, they're national, probably soon to be international, as long as they can fit in some panel for Java with Jimmy to host when they go over to Dubai. But we're getting ready to bring in the team this morning, the Davis system. I am so honored to have them in. I'm going to bring in the Queens first, Aaron Davis of the Davis system, Anissa Benjamin of the Davis system, and ABMI Media, and also the good friend and brother, two of which are no stranger to the Java Cafe. They've been on in their capacity with the Boston Waterfront Coalition. Aaron was recently on with the Waterfront Coalition. Anthony has been on different segments for Black men and things like that. And so, ladies and gentlemen, this is the current team that try to keep me together. And we want to be sure, because they sent me some notes to make sure I stay on focus. I'm telling y'all now, this may be a very interesting Java, because in naming the transition, I know they'll name some of the growth and whatnot, and y'all know I don't do too well with that. And so I came prepared. But it is definitely important that I got organized. Some of you talk about the growth and you talk about what you have observed, but trying to manage it by myself has been a lot. And before we move on, I have to celebrate 4 people. The first person I have to celebrate is Newt Johnson. He will be my forever manager. Newt stepped in very early when we were starting, even before Java with Jimmy. Newt, if you're on, I did ask the folks to try to sign on this morning. Newt, I think I just saw your name. I really appreciate you, brother, for stepping in early on and trying to help me out. I have to also name, and I affectionately, with all respect, call them the girls, my sisters. A couple of people say, James, they could be your daughters. I definitely see Keys in the room. Hey, Rachel, good to see you in the room, sis. And the team has talked so much about you and Tay, and they can name that themselves later. But Tay and Rachel, I want to appreciate both of them, who held me down for both of them for about 2 years, managing the books as far as the schedule, my schedule, speaking engagements, different things like that. Rachel and Tay, I really, really appreciate you. You all aren't necessarily going anywhere. We're just going to figure things out and do some things. And finally, I do have to name Daniel Amalbert, Danny Props, as he's been called and affectionately known here in the Java Cafe, not as active, but I definitely want to name him this JJ, and I think I'll get it right. Yeah, this JJ and the Java with Jimmy you all see right here, he is responsible for that. Stepped in and said, James, the little graphics that you did don't suffice. And so he upgraded. And in that spirit of upgrade, we have today the Davis system with us. And so I would like to ask them to introduce themselves, and we'll go over some of the things that are happening. But this platform was not built just with one person. This is a family, the Java fam, and I feel accountable to you all to just share information about upgrades and transition and just where we're going. And so we've evolved over the last couple of years, as Anthony actually is the person that coined this phrase. From the iPhone, last year we were at the ICA, and so now I say from the iPhone to WGBH and other things. But you know, the evolution you all have seen, you all have been a part of it. You all have grown this. I need to shout out Boston Real Media, who's in the room as well. And so I'm going to get ready to shut up and who am I turning this over to? Team introduction. Okay, so I covered that part. I'm a little nervous, y'all, because they keep me in check. And I know I'm looking at my phone to make sure Aaron don't or Nisa don't text me and say, Jimmy. All right, so I'll introduce them. A light introduction first, and then they'll all introduce themselves by order on the screen. Aaron Davis is the Chief Operating Officer of the Davis System. Anthony Davis is the founder and CEO of the Davis System. And I think y'all can put together Aaron Davis, and for those of you that don't know, and Anissa Benjamin, who a lot of you, if you scheduled anything with me lately, if you have been on a show lately, Anissa is the person that you've been in contact with. And so this is the Davis System. And so, Aaron, I guess we'll start with you with introduction, and then we'll go from there while I go back and look at my notes.
Good morning, Java family. Excited to be on yet again and be with you on this side of the screen, actually. As Jimmy said, I'm Aaron Davis. I am a part of the Davis System, the Chief Operating Officer here, born and raised in Boston in the Bowdoin, Geneva area. Really happy to be able to join this team to give back to all of you and help Jimmy get to the next elevated level that he so deserves to be at. Just really honored to be here. I'll pass it over to Anthony.
Yeah, I don't know if you're supposed to take those liberties to pass it along. I think you're supposed to let James do that, but but I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and take it. I'm gonna take it.
Look at your phone. I'm gonna send you a text.
I'm in trouble now. Good morning, everyone. Anthony Davis Jr., founder, CEO of the Davis System LLC. I am originally born and raised in the Washington, D.C. area, grew up in Prince George's County, Maryland. I know I have a few friends that are on, so I had to give a shout out to PG County this morning. And the Davis System is a social impact firm. We serve at the intersection of philanthropy and community organizing, and we really tie our clients to, we help tie our clients to the community and help community get access to our clients and share resources between the two.
And okay, I'll jump back in my job, so I don't get it. Nisa, can you please introduce yourself?
Of course. Good morning, everyone. So happy to be in the Java Cafe for the first time. My name is Anissa Benjamin, founder and CEO of ABMI. That stands for Anissa Benjamin Media Intel. And we are a full-service brand management firm providing everyone a first-class brand experience. I was originally Boston-based. I am here in Atlanta now. And of course, I have to shout out Guyana because I am Guyana-born.
Okay.
But happy to be here. Happy to be subcontracted under the Davis System to aid in Java with Jimmy's growth.
Thank you all, both. And all three of you, I really appreciate you all, everything that you've done. Like the impact was immediate. There's this joke within the team about the rise in account engagement on Instagram. And it was an immediate impact. And I just want to quickly just say the reason why I made the decision. I explained a little bit earlier about why I made the decision of who. The simple why is the growth was happening so quick. I'll be real and transparent with y'all. I was getting anxious, nervous. I was missing emails, appointments. I remember triple booking a while back, and two people showed up at the same spot, and then one person was my adopted son was across town waiting for me, and I fought with this because I never want to come off as pretentious, and I never want to come off as wonderful and whatnot. And in this transition, I have, some folks have text, and we'll get into me not getting in trouble around no longer handling things over text, and getting folks to go to a link to schedule and do things. And I fought with that, you all, because it just was interesting for me. But as Erin said a few minutes ago, and I'm actually we have the notes, but I'm going to turn this over to them, and because it's just very interesting for me right now. Erin talked about the evolution of what's next, and we as entrepreneurs, the last couple of days, and thank Anissa for putting this wonderful schedule together of the Black businesses, two of which are here with us now. So I also want to name that. There are 3 Black-owned businesses that you're seeing on your screen right now. And in this month of August, that is definitely important. But as an entrepreneur, we have to be able to delegate. We have to be able to trust. And I've been intentional about saying this because I don't want to offend Tay and Rachel and whatnot. Where we would go, I told y'all, Rachel works a full-time job. Tay does multiple things like a gig worker, and where the growth was going, it needed, and these folks aren't 40 hours with me. They do a whole lot of other stuff, but this is what the Davis system does. And Anthony, I may just start with you sort of organically impromptu. You talked about organizing and elected officials and initiatives. Has the Davis system taken on, quote unquote, and I know electeds are personalities, and that could mean 3 or 4 different things. But is this sort of a new venture for the Davis system of social media content creator host type?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say that this is definitely our first kind of foray into, being more full service in terms of helping to manage a brand and managing social media. And I had to, like, before I go any further, give it up to Anissa and ABMI Media. As James said, and I could give you all a little bit of backstory, Anissa came on to the Davis system a few months before we all started working with James. And similar to what James expressed, we immediately noticed a difference in just our overall brand cohesion. And from our website to our social media to our newsletter, everything was just cohesive, and it gave off a similar message. It gave off a similar vibe, and it gave off the vibe that we wanted it to give off as well. And it was consistent. And I think that's the most important thing, as most people who are business owners or people who have worked in any field, consistency is key. And we just didn't have the capacity to consistently put out the content that we wanted to. As James said, we have a lot going on. We have a lot moving, and we're doing things sometimes where we don't even get an opportunity to stop, celebrate. But Anissa does a great job of kind of archiving and making sure that we are putting out into the public the work that we are doing, and making sure that there is, again, cohesion amongst it, that it's not just like content, but that there's a reason, there's a purpose, and that there's a flow to it as well. And so, we, after working with Anissa for a while, we were immediately like, how do we, integrate you into our business model? We feel as though we have other clients who could benefit from your services, who could benefit from what you do, both in social media, what you do communications wise, and how you operate behind the scenes as well. As Anissa said, they are a full service brand management company. And so they help out with, as James said, emails, scheduling. And so with that added capacity, both to our team, but then also noticing, and other folks noticing, just the difference in our brand, we were just like, how can we work together more? And Job with Jimmy was the perfect timing, because it just worked out. And we really wanted to figure out ways to test it out. And it feels like you have definitely been the perfect test for us. And it's working out perfectly as well.
I appreciate that, brother. And we're sort of doing this impromptu, and I'm looking at the notes as well. But they know me, and y'all know me as well. I go with the flow. And so, Anissa, if I could ask you your impression, because what you do in brand management, you do research. You heard about me, you went on social media and whatnot, and you put a document together. And if you could just talk to a little bit about your impression, not so much of me, but you made a lot of reference to the Java fam. And so can you speak to someone that could be a newbie to this environment? And just from your impressions, can you just share your impressions of the Java fam?
Sure. So definitely new territory for me, as I mentioned. Yes, I am a full service brand manager to small business owners. You yourself is a small business owner, but you're also a personality. So that was very new to me. So with that being said, I think it was essential to look at who was behind you, which is essentially the Java fan. They've been with you since you started this platform, and they literally show up every single day for you. So I think it was important to include them in that plan and make sure that they do feel valued. One thing I always tell business owners is like, yes, you can focus on gaining new traction, gaining more having more engagement, looking for new followers. But once you do nurture who you have behind you, that is going to come regardless. So shout out to the Java family. We do see you, we do appreciate you, and we're excited to bring you so much more.
There is, and one of the first things, and Newt is in the morning. Newt, you missed your shout out. I know where you're out of town and doing stuff, but I love you, brother, and appreciate you. One of the things that the Davis system immediately noticed, and I talk about it, but they notice it, but they reference to Anissa references to it often. Aaron did as well yesterday, is the mother's board. And that is something that really organically grew. They are invested in you all when the Davises were experiencing transition of family members. Like, we sent the names of Aaron and Anthony, and they were like praying and holding up. And so I wanted Anissa to share that piece, because as I said before, this is me just sitting here talking over coffee would be nothing if it wasn't the engagement. And so, Aaron, I would ask you, you talked about the evolution. You talk about what's next and whatnot. And though, maybe it was on me to say why and whatnot, we are going this way. And I'll go ahead and say, and she'll get me later, Aaron is the one, with all due respect to Anthony and Anissa. If Anthony and Anissa Anthony doesn't hit me as much, so I don't know the impact of it. But when Aaron's like, I said something to her yesterday. I said, guess what inventory, or guess what's being done? So she wanted me to do inventory with all the stuff, Miss T, and t-shirts and stuff we got. And so I said, Aaron, what's being done right? Guess what's going on right now? She was like, inventory. I said, well, how did you know? She said, because I've been waiting on it. Well, Aaron is Aaron is the one that, like, I don't want to be in trouble with. Anissa and Anthony too, but Aaron just has this maternal, but it's so much with this like lovely smile, but okay, don't play. So Aaron, I'm sorry, with all of that, can you talk about your observation and why you thought it wasn't? Because when we first talked, you did affirm some things about the need and the value you saw in making this decision. And can you just talk about the growth and maybe get ready to transition into where we're going? And I'll bring it back to Anissa and Anthony.
Well, first, I just want to take credit for Anissa, because she was my friend first, and I found her. So I take credit.
Anthony.
Anissa, fully. But no, Jimmy, you have been doing amazing work in the community since the pandemic, and we have seen the anniversaries, the award shows, the birthday celebrations, your growth with being honored as like an influential Bostonian. Like, you are doing the work in community and really representing us. And it is not, what you getting to the next level isn't just solely about you getting to the next level. It's about the community getting to the next level, and about us being able to have it. You're doing exactly what Anthony and I say the Davis system does, but on a tangible level where the community is actually talking with you on a day-to-day basis, and they're getting that information from you. And that's why it was so important for us to want to be a part of this brand with you, because our missions so go hand in hand. We both are all about bringing resources to the community. And Anissa helps us do it in a way that is readable, digestible, and looks good. And looks good. And that's why I think this team is so strong, because together we're going to help build this greater Boston community. My father-in-law knows my personality to yes, but we're going to bring Boston the resources that they need to help bring the community to the next level as well. And it's not about becoming better or bigger than anyone. It's about how do we come together as a community to get to this next level through your platform, which so many people are pouring into. And this is how we continue the conversation. And I really think the Davis system and ABMI coming in to Java with Jimmy is just seeing a new evolution of your growth, but not taking any way of the core pieces that have made Jimmy like who you are today.
That's one of the things that Anissa communicated to me yesterday. So what I will share with you all around or on September 8th, I will share right now, September 8th, there will be a special Friday birthday Java with Jimmy. We have some updates coming toward the end about, we have a date. We have our Mother's Board and Friends family event planned, and we have the others event planned as well. That's going to be a running joke for a while. But let me share what the rebrand is not, based on what Erin just said, and Anissa will go more into this. I am rebranding. I want to step up the Black excellence. I want to function in a manner to where, and those of you that have been in the business and saw Juice back in the day and whatnot, I want to get beyond the local persona. I will always be committed and Boston based, and even if in the whatever, even if a TV station in Miami hits me up, I'm still going to be Boston based. But we're rebranding to just raise the scale of the impact. I told WGBH the other day, the Davis system knows this, and they do it as well. Impact is the goal. The mission: to share information, inform, and educate for the purpose of mobilization to get us into action to improve equitable quality of life. That is the impact. That is the mission. Yes, there's the persona of social media. Yes, there's the fun, the after dark and stuff. But I realized as a business that helps grow, as Erin referred to in her first part, that helps grow the impact. And so I'll get ready to shut up. Anissa, what is the value of rebranding, social media presence, and also what folks may have to look forward to within the Java environment?
Yeah, so, and this is not, I'm not saying that your platform looks old or looks stale, but
I tell
a
them,
lot of
no. Just say, I keep it real. I'm
no, that's not what I'm saying at all. I promise. I promise. But a lot of times I think small business owners, or just anyone, get really comfortable with the space they're in, and just, already with how their website looks or how their profile looks. But over time, that does begin to look the same. It begins to look stale. So with rebranding, you're enhancing the experience essentially, so when people are going back to your page, there's something that's gonna, they're gonna be like, oh, what is that? Okay, that looks cool. So it just helps. It helps the experience, the user experience, and really that's what it all comes back to for me. So when they're on your Instagram, it is a lot more vibrant. When they are on your website, it makes sense in the way that they're scrolling and navigating to the different tabs. And then it also adds to you as well. As you said, you are looking to expand. You do want to go national. So it will welcome a different audience. You already at a level where you have nurtured the audience that you have. So it's just going to encourage more people to come look to you, reach out to you, and get you to where you want to be.
Can you also talk about, because so one of the things that's so interesting is the level of trust, and I'll be very transparent, and this might sound interesting to some folks, but I have become so comfortable with them that I get up in the morning. There's some times in the morning now that I get up and I gotta look and see who's coming on the show because it just it's y'all do not understand that. And Tay and Rachel laid the foundation. Let's just name that. They laid the foundation for the Davises
Yeah.
to come in and build upon. And Tay and Rachel, I need to tell you in text, in conversations often. Me and Anissa were talking the other day about like figuring out ways how they just really saw you guys in this would not okay. And I feel the little chill on my shoulder. And I'm gonna keep myself together. This would not be possible without the two of you all, and Newt as well, and Danny as well. And so, Anissa, could you also name what the rebrand is not? Aaron touched on it a little bit, and then I'm going to turn it over to Anthony. Because you surprised me. I was like, listen, I talked about the trust a few seconds ago because I basically said, hey, take the liberty and do from your. This is their profession, and so by demonstrated initial impact, I'm like, do y'all? Anissa was like, bro, we're gonna keep some of the staples. And so, Anissa, can you talk a little bit about what not what the rebrand is not, the foundation or the essentials that we're keeping, and why that is important, and why, from your perspective, from a marketing standpoint, a branding standpoint, why that was important to keep the core, I think, as Aaron said.
Sure. And I do actually want to say what the brand is not, because you are a personality. So this rebrand is not James Jimmy Hills becoming Hollywood. And I know that was a
And you
big
please
concern
say
of
that again
him.
for the people. Hold on. Where we at? Can you please say it again?
Yes, so this rebrand is not James Jimmy Hills becoming Hollywood, okay? He's not going Hollywood. That's not what this rebrand is all about. I know it was something that he was concerned about, and I most definitely understand, you know, when people are reaching out to him personally, hey, can we check in for this? Hey, can we meet for this? I'm sorry, but there's a booking link now that we have to use. And really and truly, that just really and truly, that just helps him a lot. One, you know, with the pressures that already come with him having to oversee this platform. Yes, he has us, but we just have to put those systems in place, and it's going to help him grow even further and just even be more organized. But as far as like the branding itself, we're not changing the logo. We are keeping the color scheme. So you will continue to see that. We are keeping the JJ. We have the little icons, I think it's, I don't know what to call it, but it's the little face that you have as like your profile.
Caricature.
Caricature. We are keeping all those things. And again, not going Hollywood. I personally don't see the need for it. I don't think Anthony and Aaron see the need for it, and you guys could jump in as well. But I think it's familiar. It's familiar, and there's ways that we could still incorporate it into the things that we're going to do. So, you know, when people are coming, they're still like, oh, yeah, that's Jimmy. So he's not unrecognizable as well.
I appreciate it. And Aaron, I'm going to throw it to you in a minute to talk about, because I saw the the booking link, just to go a little bit deeper into that. Anthony, we have worked on different projects together, and I've seen, again, I can't say enough of your impact as the CEO, as a visionary, as someone who coined the phrase from the iPhone to the ICA. Where do you see this partnership going?
Man, it's limitless, honestly. I think one of the things that
Never knew.
we're gonna have a little pushback on that link, and that's okay. That's okay. You know, everything is an adjustment period. This is why we are exposing everyone today, and you know, gradually we'll move everyone to using that link. But you know, like I said, I think our partnership is really limitless. For me personally, I know this partnership is something that you and I had talked about for a while, before it actually came into fruition. And a lot of that is because you know, both of us were scaling up our brands, and both of us were trying to figure out how to run businesses and be in 6 different places at one time. Between, you know, it was just Aaron and I at one point, and you were doing everything, and had Rachel and Tay helping out. And so I it it seemed like the perfect time for us to meld our teams because we at the Davis system we're starting to add more capacity, bringing on a team. Shout out to Asia, to Ton, to Richie, some who I know are watching right now. Miles, who's our in-house videographer and photographer, who's come out and helped at events, covered James before. And as we were adding capacity and a lot of the things that we were doing was intersecting a lot along with what you were doing, James, and we were bringing you in to help with our clients, and we just felt as though the partnership made a ton of sense to think about how do we start to support you and how can you support us as well. We don't see this as a one-way partnership as well. We have benefited from our names being in your mouth so much already. You calling out the Davis system, claiming the Davis system as a partner, as someone who has helped to benefit your brand, has helped to benefit our business already. And so we definitely look at this as a mutually beneficial opportunity. I see our businesses growing together. As you said earlier, I said, speaking in the chat, you said that one day the Davis system will be international. And I pray about that almost nightly. That's something that I think about all the time. But in the same vein, I don't see us being international without you being right there with us, hosting whatever we're doing in Africa, whatever we're doing in Europe, that you're there, you're our host, you're our man on the street, and that our businesses continue to grow in that way. And I see that, on a very on a minor level right now, on a micro level right now, but that I know it will eventually get to the macro level where we're doing things across the nation, where we're doing things across the world, and that we're doing it together.
I just wanted to name, and I don't usually do this because sometimes it is distracting to the guests, but I just wanted to attest to some things in here that Anthony was just saying. And thank you, Anthony, for just because I remember before we started, I remember coming to you one day and I was stressed. I remember the conversation. I was like, Anthony, it's I can't, it's just too much now. And even with Tate and Rachel, it was getting beyond even with, and I started feeling bad because I was pulling on them. Even when Anissa first started, I was like, "Ooh, this is a lot," And so I appreciate that, brother, and the growth, together, and the trips to to Africa and Dubai and Mexico and all that. When we go out and we outside,
we're gonna do it.
Listen, with the Davis system in Java with Jimmy. Aaron, can you talk a little bit more? Anissa talked about it, but. And as it's Black Business Month, and some folks are watching, and I wanted to appreciate a great influencer who I've watched through the years that sets a great example and has been so encouraging to me. Charlene, she talked about the pieces or the different spaces and promoting the Davis system. I'm mixing this up with another comment here, but that you talked about growing together, and just a teeny bit. Boston is a very interesting place. It's been named this week. Ricardo yesterday, and I need to tell you, I told y'all yesterday, but these are the folks that all the wonderful nuggets and stuff y'all got yesterday. That's because the Davis system was like, yo, Jimmy, you need to get Ricardo on. That brother killed us. But he made a point yesterday, and you talked about it a little bit too. Can you pick up a little bit on Anthony's growth together that we're doing? And then interesting transition, how important it is for entrepreneurs to not move in imposter syndrome, to not have false humility. And really, Newt is talking about it. Employing systems that's going to help you grow is not becoming Hollywood. It's not, can you talk a little bit about both of those? Sorry to throw you that two different ends of the pole, but I know you got it.
No. So first I want to say, prior to Anissa coming on to the Davis system, I was the one doing all the social media and just running it by Anthony. Like, you think this look good? And then we would just be posting sporadic.
All the other stuff y'all were doing? That was you?
Exactly. And in the beginning, it was like, we're worrying about getting contracts. Is posting on Instagram getting us the contracts we need to pay to eat every day and pay our rent? And it didn't feel like it at first, but then we started getting people that were like commenting on my oh, I really like you guys doing this and posting this. And it took me a second to be like, this is good, but it's not good enough. and I need somebody who can do it better, and that who can do that consistency, who can take this to the next level that I don't have the time or fully the understanding to take it to that next level. Because there's some things that Anissa posted, I'm like, okay, I see what you did there, and I would have never thought about it. So I just want to give credit that there is a sense of humility and evolution even within the Davis system, of me having to step back and be like, no, she can do this better, and she can get our brand to the next level. And I think that's what Anissa is doing here with both of our brands. So again, just kudos to you, Anissa, there. And I think that for us, what was the second part of the question? It was a
The
long.
second part was, how important is it? Because you all know I struggled with because even with the naming of the book Jimmy, if you remember, I was like, and then I asked Anissa, who's a professional, knows that, she was like, basically not verbatim, but Jimmy, that's the trend. That is the professional trend, book Jimmy. Can you talk a little bit about entrepreneurs not struggling with implementing systems that for some, that for them and for some on the outside could be perceived as the Hollywood? Like, how do we as individuals get away from that? And then on the other side, give some advice to folks that might move in that mentality. Don't hurt them too much, but
So I think I can sum this up really quick. We are about community. And when we're about community, that means community can tell us about ourselves at any point in time. And a part of your motherboard is you got a whole motherboard of people telling you about yourself all the time to Jimmy and the guests. When they don't get right, the motherboard gotta let them know. And I think that that piece about community being able to come to us and always having direct communication makes us always feel like we are accountable to community, and we want to make sure that it never comes off inauthentic or non-genuine when we are doing these type of things. So I think the piece that we really need to focus on is that we're doing it for community, and that as Daphne was saying, like implementing these systems isn't about making us feel Hollywood. It's about providing you a better quality of services. It's about the experience. People, when community members are throwing a big event and they want to come on to Jimmy to talk about it, that process for you to do so is easy and doesn't feel too Hollywood to get it done, but is also done in a professional, systematic way. And I think that's what, we don't always got to show up on CP time just because CP people are organizing it. Like there are things that we can do to have the level of professionalism and still, let me sip my tea too. and still provide, that quality community that is core. And I know Anthony wants to add on to this.
Anthony,
too.
please do.
If it's okay, Anthony, I'll pass it to you.
Thank you.
We need to get y'all. Well, I don't want to get in trouble, but there's a certain a podcast about married couples. Y'all get ready to do something on there soon, right?
We did it already. Yeah.
Y'all remind me. Y'all remind
we had
me
a good time
a little bit right now. Shout out to Wedlock and Loaded, Daniel and Leah Laurent. You'll hear more about that later, y'all.
Yeah. But no, Janina said it in the chat. Your community keeps you humble, and I think that's one of the things that, as a business owner, I mean, for me personally, like I went through a very similar struggle. Starting the business with just myself, and I think one of the other things is, and this is probably for a lot of small business owners, that your clients come to you for you. That a lot of times that they're like, oh, I know James, I'm comfortable with James, I have this familiarity with James, and so I want to talk to just James. But a part of your growth, and another thing that I always hear often, is that the people who support you should want you to fly. They should want you to thrive. And so just as there's clients who come on who started with you, when you may not have had a lot of business, when you may not have had a lot of work, and so they were used to just dealing with you, they should want you to grow to the point where eventually you have to bring on a team. You have to bring on people who are adding to you, because your impact is also growing as well, which in turn impacts the client. If they have you as a client, if they have you as someone who's a validator for them, that's the most pivotal piece, for you to be the person in the community speaking their name. And as said, you are someone who's you'll never stop showing up in the community. That's one thing that is never going to happen. Whether we have multiple layers of systems in place, whether there's multiple people that you have to email in order to get onto the show, James is always going to show up into the community. And so that's the way that we keep the brand consistent, that we remain humble. but that we always remember to keep people first, that we always remember where we came from, but that elevation is good. New levels, new devils. At the end of the day, as you continue to elevate, there are other things that you are having to deal with. There's new things about being a business owner that you're learning. I'm sure I'm dealing with it as well. And so, there are other things for you to be battling with and for you to struggle with as you continue to ascend. And so bringing on people to help you deal with some of those other things that, you may be above at this point. You may not need to respond to that email right now because it will cause you to be sidetracked from other things that are as important. And that's why you bring on a team as well.
Thank you for that. And that is definitely real because I often go to pick up my phone to do one thing, see a notification. I'm in the sunken place and then never get back. And I realize also too, the way my brain is wired, that these systems and structures are needed. I told someone recently, if I had did just a little bit more and brought focus in, some things may have been a little bit further, but also understanding that timing is everything. The timing of us coming together and the timing of getting in place for what's next was perfect here, with you all. I did put below if you all had any questions for the Davis system. Anissa, you got either the Davis and or ABIM. Stephen Figueroa is a young man that I met when I was working for Youth Build USA. And I think he's in Detroit, Stephen, if I'm right. And so y'all can go back. Anissa, you got access. You can go back and see the comments or whatever. He wants to reach out to you all and see, what type of services. And Stephen, they are national. They, Zoom and all that other stuff, but is in Troy, New York. I forgot, Stephen. But that's even closer. So as long as the budget, they'll get up there. And they'll come and do what needs to be done on site as well. There is one young lady before we get ready to wrap up, and some of the goals I see in these folks are really helping me and leading in some cases getting there. I want to shout out this young lady who Aaron and them talk about all the time. They're going to have I think they already started some conversing about stuff, but you all have seen over the past few months, face cloths for the beach. The t-shirt I wore yesterday with Java with Jimmy on it. I have new limited lapel pins. I think we're just going to keep them for the team. Lapel pins. I have cufflinks, y'all. I didn't tell y'all. We're going to wear them for, we'll have them for next Tuesday. I have cufflinks. What else did Miss Teresa do? Keychains, magnets, puzzles, tumblers. Miss Teresa, we just wanted to celebrate you because that swag is a part of the brand. It is definitely part of the brand to getting notoriety out there and whatnot. And I see my mother, Ma, Jesus Lord, I don't care if I am 51. I'm going to say this like the 14-year-old. Ma, why are you on my social media? No, but in our reality, I have to shout out my mother because none of this would have been in place if she did not ask one question on March 24th at the end of the show. Simple few words. Will this be an everyday coffee hour? No, but we'll be here. And the team said, I saw the agenda yesterday and I said, y'all are going to make me cry. And Anissa was like, that's the goal. And I'm making it all the way and I won't, but 3.5 years later, we're still here. And I guess this is a good transition now to talk about the goals and what's coming next. We are beginning the countdown to the rebrand today. Some other things that are coming. I've been talking about Southline and the location. We're not going to do any broadcast from there until we have sort of a celebratory sort of event, Java After Dark, some food event over at Southline, so you all can see the place. And then we're going to start going live from there. I have a dedicated conference room and whatnot. And this is the temporary spot, the build out, and shout out to Portal Innovations, Mass Bio, the Beacon Properties Group for the partnership of the space there, but that's coming. Just secured a ongoing Java After Dark location in Roxbury. We'll have a monthly Java After Dark that is going to highlight 2 or 3 businesses. It is after dark. It is after dark, and we're just leave that there. Also, the birthday is coming. And I don't know, Aaron, did you want to do it or should I do it? Or I can. It's up to. Yes, ma'am.
Anissa could do it. I feel
Anissa
like
can do it. Go ahead, Anissa.
Anissa
You
is
do it.
way
You do it.
better.
Eric, I think you got the birthday schedule a lot.
All right, all right. The birthday schedule right now is
September
September 16th.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 16th.
16th, the Saturday, September
Oh,
16th at
yeah.
3 p.m. From 3 to 6 is the Mother's Board, and from 3 to 6 is the open to the public.
It's the community.
Community. It's the community Java birthday. We'll figure out we'll work Java in there somewhere. And so that is from 3 to 6. And then that evening
At 7, because we're gonna give ourselves an hour.
I wasn't even going to go into that much, but and that evening, there's the others event that will take place as well, and that is that's the after dark birthday celebration, and so at 6, y'all know how they do with the wedding.
We're going to have to figure out a better way to say than others, but yeah, we're going to have to figure out another label for the folks.
But thanks to
They just sound like
Anissa,
the leopards.
no, what happened was Anissa clipped it. When I said it on the show that day, Anissa clipped it and put it into a reel. That's one of the most active reels. And on the other side, I was getting texts and inbox talk about, Jimmy, I heard your announcement this morning. I want to, my invite needs to be to the others, not what's now known as the event. We're going to have so anyway, at 7, and that will be a little more intimate and not as public. I guess is that a good way to frame it, Anthony? That'll be a little more intimate and not as public. And there is another thing that we're doing. I just want to shout this out real quick. On September 8th is Black Joy Day at the ICA with Thaddeus Miles and whatnot. So please do that. Some of you, anyway, I'll leave that one alone. And so on September 16th at 3 p.m. is the community Java with Jimmy birthday. And then at 7 p.m. is the after dark. More information will be going to others about that soon. Did I turn it? Was that good? Was that a good pivot? Was that good?
Yes.
Okay, y'all took a minute.
A little bit better. We'll offline about it. We'll offline about it.
In other words, I'm going to get in trouble. For further talking points, yes, Boston Real Media, Miguel, Espresso Martinis, will most apropos. We're getting ready to wrap up. I did want to mention, and Aaron has talked about this before, and I actually got a notification. We had Miss Shirley on last year at this time. Please don't forget Carnival this weekend, and Insane Carnival this weekend. Mother's Board, those that are going, let's make this 50th celebration one of the safest, most fun, non-incident carnivals that we've ever had in Boston. One, for the sake of life. Two, allow Miss Shirley as in this 50th, and I don't know what her upcoming plans are, whatever, about next steps for her. But can we please, folks, ensure that we have a safe weekend? Some of these folks that are on here are going to be out there. I'm going to be somewhere else. Family, friends. We know what the traditional environment is, what folks believe is going to happen. Let's not perpetuate. And I don't mean to bring a different tone into this space. We'll bring it back up before we go off. But it is important that who knows what other entrepreneurs out there, who knows what other, I don't know, Cooking with Carrie, host, social media influencers are out there. And we cannot allow all that potential to be snatched up in a moment's notice through violence. So please, just this weekend, keep Carnival. It's the 50th anniversary of the Carnival here in Boston. Also, I'm now getting this is why I don't look the comments sometime. Frida Battles, 25th Temple Worshipper recording is on Friday night, the 25th. Yes, Sharon, I will be there. And also, please don't forget, they holding me down, y'all. Don't forget WGBH is next Wednesday at 12 p.m. at the Boston Public Library News Cafe. WGBH. Actually, one of our guests this morning is one of the guests. We're going to talk about Black-owned businesses beyond August. August is Black-owned Business Month. Aaron is a guest. Also, Daniel Laurent from Black Dollar LCC, and also Malia Lazu, who was with us the other night talking about Maui, will be with us next Wednesday as well. Is that it, y'all? Did I get everything? We got the birthday. We got GBH. We got, I think that was it.
Yeah, all I want to say is if you see me and Anthony at Carnival, you really didn't see us.
Drink water and mind your business.
There you go.
That is Quincy's number one. Look. Now he's going to think of a tough question on Tuesday just to throw. No, ask Aaron. Don't ask me. But no, I really appreciate y'all. I'm excited about what just in the first 3 months alone, while they're still learning and we're developing our cadence and whatnot, let alone in 6 months, to, just to see what happens. And I'm excited about what's happening for the Davis system and ABMI as well, because it just, though we're businesses, our motive and mission is in community. And so I want to be appreciative and thank God for the fact that we're able to take our passion and pay, meaning that we can do this work and stuff full time and still be able to pay rent. Somebody say amen. And so go ahead.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to give you your flowers, especially with your birthday coming up. You're turning 52 years wise. Okay, 52 years young. I'm very big on protecting dreams, and I think for you to even be in this decade of life still going after what you want is just so amazing. So I do want to honor you there. You are, and we're not going to say you're going to get there, but you are the Black Phil Donahue. You are Java with Jimmy of Boston. Okay.
Only a few people know that reference. And that is when I embraced this. And Thaddeus was a big help of that. Because again, I just need to remind folks, this wasn't a sought out thing. This thing happened. This snatched me. But when I snatched it back, that is for those of you that know who Phil Donahue was, he was early in talk shows, bringing information and stories. And that is the goal. And Anissa, you almost got me, but I held it down today. I'm proud of myself. I might get off of here and go sit on the couch for a few minutes, but I really appreciate you all. Some of you will be, we're in the process of figuring out the logistics. There is part of the rebrand is a photo shoot on Tuesday, and I'm going to reach out to some folks to come and be a part of that. Just to be in the pictures, Java fam and whatnot. So that is taking place on Tuesday. Once we get affirmation about exactly where it is and the logistics, a few folks, if I reach out to you and you can't, please don't make any big effort and whatever. Just if you can't, don't. But we're going to do that reach out in a minute. I'm just going to check the comments before. Oh, God. Pastor Marion said the male Oprah. And Mama Java's in here praying. Father, keep everyone covered with knowledge, wisdom, and faith in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. All right. We're going to get ready to go because Julian said pictures. Let's go. And there's the link for you all for WGBH is active there. Click that. I think folks that Anissa sent out a huge blast. And so get them seats in early because they do have capacity. And I'm telling you, the first two have been wonderful, but this one is going to be, we're just building upon each GBH, Java with Jimmy at GBH. That's it for me. It's 9:56. Am I good, team?
You did great.
I did. From all three of y'all? Okay, I'm good. 3 for the stripes, Father, Son, Holy Ghost, 3 chords, 3-tier chord or something can't be broken, whatever. Pops, good to see you in the room. Good to see you in the room, Pops. Thank you, because it wasn't for you and Mother Davis, there would be no Anthony Davis. There'd be no Davis system. Yes. And so we'll take it all the way back to there. Celebrate the patriarch.
Straight up.
To make sure.
Shout out to my in-loves.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't call them in-laws, in-loves.
Oh, can I just shout out Christina while she's on here?
Yes, Christine. I'm gonna go back to that, Erin, in 1 minute. Where is she? What's her name? Christine?
Tina Too Cute.
Oh,
Daily.
yes, Daily, yes.
She's the project manager behind the scenes, so just wanted to give her a shout out.
This is someone who he be doing some of the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Tina.
Hi, Tina.
ABMI got a team too.
Well, we're gonna have to, but listen, my hope and my prayer is that within the next 2 weeks, y'all are so bombarded that y'all got to pick up and be like, start doing more. And I see there's a job posting out now. The Davis system is it still active or are you in the interview process? There is a job posting. Okay, there's a job posting right now for the community organizer who is bilingual, focus in the area of Spanish.
Yes.
So the Davis
Yep.
system is currently hiring y'all. And so, but my hope and prayer is that both of you get so bombarded. And I'll go ahead and say a little bit from this show and others and the great work you all are doing to where y'all are like, okay, now we need to pick up who's another Davis system to help us. But no, I really appreciate all of you. I'm so excited about what's to come. And it is, thank you, Sharon. 3-chord strain, not easily broken. Thank you. And so 3 for the stripes, whatever, how we, and there's more behind the scenes and what, as we learned with Tina as well. So I appreciate y'all. We got it done before 10 o'clock. And yeah, I think that's it. We good?
Thanks, Java
Solid.
fam.
Thank
I
you.
Everyone have a great day, everyone.
All right, I'm gonna go do a couple of closing comments without y'all on here, so I can give y'all flowers. And no, let me do that on here. I did a little bit, but yeah, I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna do a little thing off camera when y'all leave. Appreciate
Thanks,
y'all.
guys.
All
Sounds
right,
good.
Take care.
folks. That was rather the team, and for Newt was in here, and Newt's been getting on me for years about systems and building. And so I could have done it with them on there, but it's just a little bit different. They really, when Anthony mentioned that conversation, this is the post show commentary, editorial. I remember that conversation with Anthony, and I was just so over good stuff, but I was just overwhelmed. I did not have the capacity to manage it. And we're still getting into it now, but there's a lot of stuff that I haven't even mentioned to them yet. So, but I really appreciate them. Look out for them. Look up the Davis system. If you have an event coming, if you getting ready to think about running for office and you got the budget to hire them, do that. But support both of these Black-owned businesses. We can't not reiterate enough that also there were 3 Black-owned businesses that you just observed on the screen for the past hour. Tomorrow, what's today? Is today Thursday? Wednesday. Today's Wednesday. I should have asked them before they left who's on tomorrow. Tomorrow we will continue to celebrate Black-owned Business Month at 9 a.m. and we will see you tomorrow at 9. It was definitely and Janina, I'm on what we talked about. Mental Health Day. Tomorrow is Mental Health Day, so we're going to be talking about that tomorrow. And Janina, I'm on what we worked on and talked about last week. And then Boston, where we need to send that info, I can post on the story. I'm sure I can help regard Davis system. Absolutely. Pastor Marion, is my pastor dad taught, we are forever learning. And that was one of Grandpa's things. Keep your nose clean, forever learn. That wasn't the exact words. Or always learn something, be willing to learn something new. And thank you, Pastor Marion, for this. Whatever, Miss T. I'm hold it for the housewarming. No, anyway, I'm doing better. All right, guys, I'm getting off of here. I made it today with no tears. I'm proud of myself. I'm getting better. So you all have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Thanks for tuning in for We Need to Know, Java with Jimmy, and also getting to know the folks behind the team. And it's going to push the next iteration, and not to the next level, but Java with Jimmy to the next dimension. Thank all of you.